Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Let me get my shirt in there. My name is Kelly Sweat with the Christopher Jordan Group, and you are now live for our first live of February. So happy Black History Month and happy February. So today our topic is MythBusters. So we're going to be talking about real estate fact versus fiction. So even with newer agents, with buyers and sellers, there are a lot of things that we hear sometimes that are not necessarily true. And there's some things that sound like they're not true, but they in fact are true. So today we'll be going over some of those things that are true versus what's not so true or not true at all. And again, my name is Kelly Sweat and I work with the Christopher Jordan Group. So first myth, this is dealing with buyers. As a buyer, one of the myth is I have to have this perfect credit score and everything on my credit has to be paid off and all of this. That is definitely a myth. You do not have to have a perfect credit score. You do not have to have, you don't have to have zero debt. The only thing that the lenders are looking for is that you pay things on time. They're looking at your debt to income ratio. In fact, as a first-time home buyer, as a home buyer in general, you can get a home loan with a credit score of as low as a 580. And for people that I work with and the lenders that I work with, even if you're not at that 580 mark, there is a way that we can give you some tips and put you on a plan to where you can get there. It may take a couple months, it may take a few months, but we can get you there. But that is a myth. You do not have to have perfect credit to buy a home or get a home loan. That is in fact a myth. The other thing for sellers, on the seller side, I can make more money if I'm talking too fast, or if you have a question, let me pause right here. If I'm talking too fast, or if you have a question that you want to ask, you can inbox me. You can text my phone number because I'm on the computer. So you can text my phone. You can email me. You can send me a message, and I'll answer the question in general, but I won't mention your name at all. Or if you just have questions that you want to talk about later, we can do that as well. Also, if I'm talking too fast, just type in slow down and I'll slow down because my mama got on me last night. I was on a call last night with Evelina. Hey, Evelina and the bad girls. So we talked about home buying, home selling as well. So if I need to slow down, just say, hey, slow down, and I won't get offended. Okay, so hopping back in. First thing we talked about that is a myth. You do not need a perfect credit score. You can get a home loan with as low as a 580 score. That's on the buyer side. On the seller side, one of the myths is I can make more money if I sell my home on my own. Now, let me say this. It is possible for you to make more money if you sell your home. However, a lot of times sellers are emotionally connected to their home. So the market may say, okay, this home is worth $200,000. The seller may say, well, my child got married in this home. I raised all three of my kids in this home. This is the first home that I bought, so I want to list it at $300,000. While emotionally it may be worth that to you, the market and the numbers, the buyer's looking at the numbers. So one, a buyer does not want to pay $50,000 to $100,000 more than what a home is worth. And two, if they're with a loan program, the lender is not going to allow them to buy a home that's priced at more than what it's actually worth or what the market value is for that at that time. So if you say, well, in 1985, I paid $200,000. Now I think it got to be worth double that. It's not really based on what you think. It's based on the market and what the market value is of the home, and what the loan company will allow the buyer to pay for it based on what it is appraised at. Another myth is if I'm selling my home, I should go with the agent that's telling me they're going to sell it for the highest price possible. That's another myth, because again, when we talk about overpricing, if an agent tells you, okay, I can sell your $200,000 home for $300,000, one, they're either lying or they're not as educated as they need to be to assist you with your home selling process, because your house will sit on the market and sit on the market and sit on the market if it's not priced at what it's valued at and what it should go for. So that's definitely, you might have that number and it might be in the listing as $300,000 and it may look good. However, that's not going to bring you any results if the home is not worth that, or the market does not allow for that home to sell at that price. Another thing, a lot of people think, oh, I'll get pre-approved after I find a home. I know my credit is good. I know what I can afford, but that may not be the case. That it will be really bad if you find your dream home, it has everything you wanted, and then you're not approved for a mortgage on that home because you can't afford it, or it's not something that is in your price range. So you want to be mentally prepared. You want to be financially prepared to find the dream home that is in your price range, or if you need to wait for a little while and save up, you should do that. But you definitely don't want to shop for a home, and if you're working with an agent, they should not take you. So if you have reached out to agents and they tell you, well, you need to get pre-approved before we can go home shopping, they're not trying to stop you from going through your process. They're actually trying to help you because you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste the seller's time. You don't want to waste anyone's time if you're not even in that range. Or on the other side, if you can find a home that is maybe you can afford more than what you think you can, then Chris, get the door. Sorry guys, it's real life. We're live, right? Get the door, boo. Super Bowl, so I'm not gonna keep y'all long. We got people at the door because we have family coming over today to watch the Super Bowl. So I apologize, but we're gonna keep it moving, and I won't hold you long, baby. Please open the door. Hold on one second. Hey, I'm on live. All right, so on the buyer side, you need to get pre-approved. That is completely true. You need to get pre-approved before you find a home because you want to factor in, okay, maybe I can't afford a $300,000 home, but am I willing to pay X amount a month plus HOA fees, plus property owners association fees, plus utilities, plus this. So you don't want to get in a home and be house poor either, where you can afford the mortgage, but then you're kind of scrambling and trying to put change together to get everything else. So just because you can afford it doesn't necessarily mean that you should get it, because you don't want to stretch your budget to the point where you get into a house and the house is literally all you can afford. So you want to make smart choices with your with where you're pricing in, and definitely get pre-approved before you shop for a home. On the seller side, I don't have to prepare my home to sell. That is also a myth. Now, if you on the flip side, if you're doing if you're posting your home as a fixer upper or as is home, that's one thing. But if you want to get the best price possible for your home, you may have to make a few repairs. You may have to do a little bit of painting. You may have to do some cosmetic things and even some things that deal with the structure of the house if you want it to, one, sell for the best price, and also most lenders are going to require some type of appraisal, and buyers are going to get a home buyer inspection to make sure everything is functioning properly. So you want to do that, and that will end up putting a couple $100 in your home may help you gain a few $1,000s. On the buyer side, you need a lot of money to buy a house. That's not true. Again, your credit is a major factor in that, and there are a lot of programs for people, down payment assistance grants, loans that will allow you to pay 1 to 3.5% to 5% down. So we're not stuck in that conventional loan where you have to put 20% down when you need $20,000, $40,000. You can move into a home $1,500 down. Some people move into homes based on what your loan type is. You may be able to move into a home with nothing down. However, again, that depends on the loan, that depends on your credit. So there are a lot of factors, but you don't necessarily need $50,000 sitting in the bank in order to buy a home. Another thing about that, when we talk about sellers preparing their home, most buyers now in this market that we're in, they're looking for a move-in ready home. So they don't necessarily want to do the repairs and do all that. So let's say you don't do the repairs, they'll probably come down on what their offer is. So I'm offering this home for $250,000. Well, we'll offer you $215,000 because this needs to be fixed, this needs to be painted. So you want to keep all that in mind. There are many factors that go in there. You don't want to lose thousands of dollars when you could have fixed something for a couple $100s. Another big thing that people always talk about Zillow. And most real estate agents do not like Zillow. Zillow is not always, they're not, no harsh feelings towards Zillow, but Zillow is not always accurate. So Zillow doesn't do the job of an agent where they go through and walk through the home and look at the condition of the home and if there are any upgrades or anything that's happened to the home, and then pull up comparables to that home. So pull up homes in the area that are similar, what homes have sold for. So they don't do all the research necessarily that a live agent would be able to do for you. So Zillow, again, well, Zillow said my house can sell for this. Okay, does Zillow factor in that this is the market in your area? Does Zillow factor in that your bathroom hasn't been updated since 1960? Have they factored all those things in? So Zillow can be a good general idea of what the ballpark figure would be, but you definitely want to talk to an agent, even if it's not an agent, that even if you just want general information, you want to talk to someone who can do the research and give you accurate information. So Zillow is not necessarily the most accurate or the most up-to-date information. So I would not depend on Zillow to help you price your home or help you say, oh, well, this is worth this, because again, Zillow hasn't physically gone out and done the research and pulled the comparables and ran the numbers like a real live agent or realtor would do for you. Another thing that I forgot to talk about on the last lab are 203K loans. So for people who do like to get their hands dirty and are hands-on, and you don't want to build a home from the ground up, but you're fine with doing some things and upgrading the home yourself, 203K loans are available for people. They are like a 2-in-1 loan. So you get the loan for the property that you want to buy, and you also, as part of that loan, you can also get the money to do upgrades and to do any type of construction on the home as well. So for people who say, okay, well, I love this house, but the kitchen needs work and this needs that, then you can get a 203K loan. And not only will you have your home loan that covers the home, you also have money from the lender to pay for any upgrades, anything that needs to be fixed on the home. I think that's all I had. Again, if anybody has any questions, buyers, seller, investors, if you have any questions or anything general that you were wondering about, even if you see something on the internet, you definitely want to talk to a realtor or a broker, a realtor, someone in the real estate industry that is educated on what the market is, so that you won't walk into something that you weren't aware of. So someone who's going to educate you on what your process is going to be like, someone's going to educate you on what prices are, what's going to be fair to you, negotiating. So everything in real estate is negotiable, and I'm going to say that every time we're on live, it's negotiable. So price is always negotiable. Furniture is negotiable. You can write in to get vouchers for getting furniture, for getting repairs, because they can't give the money directly to you. But let's say, well, we need a new heating system. What they'll do is you can offer above what the asking price is, and that money, you can get an invoice, and that money will go towards, and we can talk about that at a different time, will go towards anything that you see that you say, okay, I want to get this fixed. You can, or I want to change this, or I want to add this. It is negotiable. So don't let anyone ever tell you, oh no, we can't do that. The best you can do is try, write in a contract, make an offer, or just ask the question to see what's available to you. So again, this has been MythBusters. So one of the main things I want everybody to remember, you do not have to have perfect credit. You don't have to have a perfect credit score to buy a home. And on the seller side, just because you're not paying that commission to a real estate agent doesn't necessarily mean that you're saving money if your house is sitting on the market, if it's overpriced, if it's not getting the marketing it needs in order for people to actually see it. So you guys, again, I'm Kelly from Christopher Jordan Group. If you have any questions, feel free to inbox me. My phone number's in here. You can text me. A lot of people don't like to talk anymore. That's fine. Text me, call me, email me. You can send me a message on here. I'm also on Instagram. But I'm available by phone, by Facebook, any social media site. Tonight has been good. I hope that I have definitely given you guys some information that you may not have been aware of or that you were wondering about, and now you know. So I hope I've busted those myths for you. And anybody that used to watch the show, I used to love the show MythBusters. So I was excited to do this. And again, I won't hold you guys long. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, and I have people at my house now. I have macaroni and cheese in the oven. So I'm going to get that out, and we're going to get started. But if you have questions, feel free to contact me today, tomorrow, whenever you're free. All right, good night, guys.